Who better than Derek, Pat, Andrew, the wrestling crew? Man, they bout to put an end to y'all careers like a finishing move. They bout to give y'all facts on these cats that's fighting on these mats. Y'all can't see them like John Cena. Even if y'all had 20/20 vision, y'all better listen, pay attention, and take notes down, and realize that it's not your time now. And watch these three kings take the crown. Hey, hey.
Oh, this is the Panda Man from Panda Land, Falaba. You're listening to Andrew, Pat, and Rocky. Wrestling IQ 101. Oh.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another edition of Wrestling IQ 101. I'm Andrew alongside
Pat and Derek.
And make sure you hit that subscribe button, leave a like and a comment. And today we are joined by the number one, Brian Johnson.
What's going on, guys? Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure, man. Definitely a pleasure. How's it going with you?
I can't complain. I hear a lot of good things about this podcast. I've been excited to get on it. I don't, not a lot of people try to call me that often, so I'm pretty excited about it. Especially in 2017, a phone call's unheard of, man.
Nice. We definitely appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
So can you, for everyone who doesn't know you, can you kind of, just give us a background on, how you got into wrestling and what made you get into wrestling?
Oh yeah, easy, man. I'm one of three kids. I got an older brother and an older sister. My older brother was a pretty big wrestling fan. He is 32 years old, and I'm 26, 25, 26, 27. I'm 26 to 20. I'm in that age range. He was older than me, so I always looked up to him as a kid. And my dad didn't mind it, and he was kind of into it when he was a kid, I think, too. So I just kind of followed him around and, wanted to be like him. And then one day he grew out of it like most mature adults. And I just got hooked, man. And since day one, it was, I'm going to be a wrestler, I'm going to be a wrestler. And he's going on, and he's a school teacher working on 3 jobs with 2 beautiful kids and a great wife. And my sister, she got a full ride and a 4.0 at St. Joe's University, and her husband's a lawyer, and they're living in Maryland. And I'm like, hey, Mom and Dad, I'm going to be a wrestler. And, I'm the black sheep a bit, but, I got great siblings and family and, great friends that support it, and just been trying to make strides and become famous, bro. That's the goal.
So, you wear a lot of hats at OTW. What aspect do you enjoy the most, and what do you find the most challenging?
Oh, man. OTW is, it's the most interesting, it is going to sound crazy, it's like the most interesting bland place on the planet. They don't do music, they run every Saturday, it's a school first atmosphere, but they got some guys on that roster that can really go, that are underrated because we have absolutely zero ability to promote or market because we're so small and budget small, not that we don't want to, but sometimes financially you just can't. Like you said, I wear a lot of hats, I do a lot of things, and I've been privileged to get those opportunities. The most fun I have is at the first part. I love some of the guys there that train on Tuesdays and Wednesday nights. Both the younger guys and girls, and even the guys that are just consistent and I can count on. I tell everybody this, that if I didn't have that particular group, and they know who they are, I tell them my Tuesdays and Wednesdays guys and girls. If it wasn't for them, I probably would have quit OTW 2 or 3 years ago, just because the stress, the handful of things that I do there. The most stressful part, it's probably everywhere in wrestling, but even on such a small scale like OTW, dealing with small egos, very small. I realize in wrestling, egos are going to come. Few, and they're going to be there. It's just how it is. But some guys just need to realize, hey, there's 30 people in Williamstown. You getting pinned today don't mean shit. You know what I mean? I try to explain that and try to keep everybody focused on the goal. Like, hey, this is a training spot. You can move on to bigger and better things, and hopefully one day live out your dream. But some guys just get so wrapped up in certain things. They need to understand that, hey, man, until you're there doing the big stage, everything in between is kind of just BS. Really, no one got in the wrestling to be the OTW heavyweight champion. I hope, but if they did, sorry, it's not going to be, you know what I mean? A roster's only so deep, you might get it just by hanging around long enough. So yeah, that, you know, but it's a really, in the long run, I joke and kid with a lot of guys there, but it's a fulfilling job. I love that place.
As far as like your your personal life and how do you balance like working like full-time job and like training and working at OTW? Like how do you like manage to balance all that?
Bro, I don't say this enough. I have the best support system in the world. I really feel that way. My dad, number one, pun intended, is he's the greatest man I've ever known. He's always supportive of me. You know, my mom, she doesn't like to watch me wrestle, but little texts here and there that'll push me or keep me going. Them two specifically. And then just my friends are great, man. Like, I was just talking to a buddy yesterday and was like, hey, man, I got bookings every Friday and Saturday from now like June. And he's like, oh, well, let's plan a date in June to see. And my friends are just so understanding, like, I don't get pulled in 7 different directions. Everyone kind of understands that my goal in life is to be a professional wrestler 9 to 5, not be at the desk that I'm at 9 to 5. Well, professional wrestler 24/7. And they're just so supportive. So, like, balancing it is tough, obviously. And, not well as me. Every wrestler, has hopefully a real job that's paying for their health insurance. And hopefully there's wrestlers out there, working out. But then the extra stuff with OTW definitely gets stressful. And I'd be wrong if I didn't say, like, people like Jim Molyneux, who helps me, Justin Busser, who is maybe the best friend I've ever met for wrestling, and Adam Chandler right there. Those guys helped out so much. There's a young kid that you guys will probably never hear about. His name's Steve McGreen, and I hope you'll listen to this, or Steve Sanders. He used to wrestle under. That kid is smarter than I ever was at 19, both in and out of the ring. He's been a huge help. Just really, I'm lucky to have a great support. Oh, and crap, I would have caught. I'd be wrong if I didn't say this. My girlfriend Stacy is, and I know that's corny. That's corny. That's so corny, but she's great. She really is. She's beyond supportive, and like, I think we've all been in a relationship in our life, and like what that entails for time restraints and whatnot. And I don't deal with that, bro. She's a goddamn rock for sure. You know what I mean?
You did a countdown of your top matches in 2016.
Oh, yeah, that was cool. Was that corny? I thought it was kind of dorky at first.
No, it was good. I wanted to know what made the match against the Down Boys top your list.
Oh, dude, that match was dope. Did you watch it? No, the big thing with the Down Boys, every time we wrestle them, is usually up at D2W, and I'd be wrong if I didn't say good things about that place. They treat me so well up there. I've always been treated well. It's a great spot. Friday night, first Friday, I'm guaranteed a match every time I'm up there. Safe environment to work, which are all good things, and sometimes hard things to find at best. So I love going up there. But we had wrestled the Down Boys for, I don't know, if you look at my YouTube page, it's probably like 11 matches with us on the Down Boys, which is kind of ridiculous. But we had no ceiling, and those dudes can jump and fly, and we can bump and feed, and it was just a badass match. I actually think we had one, it was 2 weeks ago, the 20th. I think that topped it. It was freaking sweet, man. Those kids can go. They're a great tag team. I think even Dijak had tweeted about that. I think they had a tag match with him last year at some point. He ended up like calling out a couple promotions for not booking them or something of that nature. Those kids can put some stuff together. If they can keep their heads in the game, they're really talented.
So, Brian, let's talk about how when you got to OTW and the progression to what you see now, and not only that, but your progression.
When I don't know how much dirt you guys dug up on me. So anyway, when I joined OTW, I was a smart mouth 16-year-old kid, going into senior high school. I thought I was the coolest because I was going to be a wrestler, but like I had no real muscle definition or anything because I didn't work out. I was always like, "No, wrestling don't tell me what to do." Like, no, I was just lazy now that I look at it. And then the next year I went to college and got sadder and sad. Like I was darn near 260 pounds. I think I was 255 at my saddest.
Wow.
Yeah, just fat. Not like, oh, in shape fat. Like, no, just like tub of lard, man. Like, I was gross. A lot of beers and pizza late at night would do that to you. And I looked like crap. And at the time, there was a guy named Ed. He was a trainer there. Anybody that ever said that they've been to OTW, at that time frame. If they don't say something nice about Ed, then they don't understand the big picture. He is like a father to me, or an uncle. He's a man. He's since gone on to take care of some issues up in Canada where he lives. He has some family stuff to take care of up there. And but he was in charge, and it was way different than now. He was like a drill sergeant, very old school and hard to, break in and really kind of get in. But when you were in, dude, he took care of everybody. Like in little ways, he'd buy you lunch. And, you hear guys complain, he used to make me drive him home. Yeah, but if you ask him to come inside and have dinner or watch tape, I can attest hours of hours. And just being with him, I grew up. I grew up through OTW. I know that sounds like Dorothy, but you hear guys say that, I guess, in like college sports where, their college football team they grew up with, you know what I mean? Or they became a man through that, or that corny crap. But seriously, that's how I feel about OTW. Like, I entered that place some wide-eyed boy that thought I knew everything, and then, slowly but surely, whether after me taking over some stuff and helping out to what I learned before that and everything all mixed together, I really feel like I grew up in there just by experiences that I learned, and hopefully I'm able to apply everywhere in life.
So when you do the spin, you throw the guys on your shoulder, and do you ever get dizzy?
Oh, the trick is, man, you watch Madden. I haven't done airplane spin in a while. Maybe I'm pulling out this weekend. The last day, sometimes, this is going to sound terrible. Some of it depends on, how you're feeling that day. Like if it was, a late night and then an early morning, yeah, it's definitely a little more dizzy. You try to, I don't want to say close your eyes, but like focus on one thing as best you can. But yeah, there's been a time or two where I put him down and I was as dizzy as that guy. The trick is just, focus on one thing. I tell them to keep their eyes closed and they never do it. They're usually up there complaining and bitching about being dizzy or going to puke or something. I just laugh. Try to spin a few more times.
It looked like you spun around with Leo Rush like 30 times because he's so small.
Oh, yeah, you want Leo Rush match. That dude can go, man. That might have been one of the last times I did an airplane spin. I got to bring that back. Well, Cesaro was doing a swing, right? And I was at airplane spin before that.
I like yours better.
Cesaro's way more popular than me. So people didn't know I was doing it. It probably looked like I was ripping off of it. And that's why I kind of stopped it or slowed it down because I didn't want to look like I was ripping off Cesaro.
So let's talk about One Mean Team.
Best tag team on the planet.
Best. So let's talk about your relationship with Miss Jasmine and Justin Kushner, and that will also lead into my other question. You're part of BTY.
Okay. So One Mean Team started because I was doing well up at DPW and was getting in a feud with a guy up there, all wrestling crap. And I was trying to get Justin up there. I said it once. He's the most unknown, underrated talent in professional wrestling. Well, that I know of, I guess. But he can go. Don't let his size fool you. And, I kind of stuck my nose out for him to get up there, and it took, a time or two for him to finally get in. And then since he's been in, they've loved him up there. And we were traveling and doing well. And now for Jasmine, when I was starting to get some steam up at DPW, they have two other pretty good heels, Loudmouth. I don't consider myself too big, skinnier white guys up there. So I was like, man, I got to be different. And Jasmine had joined OTW as a manager. And I was like, man, you put a black girl, skinny white guy, Loudmouth, with a tough back guy behind him. Like, we hit all in. Like, let's run with this. And, DPW's credit, they gave me a platform to just kind of see what worked. She gets a lot of heat. Dustin's the bruiser and cleans house. And I just kind of run my mouth and bump and feed. I know where, I belong. And at BTY, Adam Chandler came in. He is a badass. He was already up at DPW. They had met him through me and really liked his size and his look. He's got a great look. Not a lot of guys in independent wrestling are in shape or as in good shape as he is. So he stands out. And he was like, man, I want to get in with you guys and roll around more. And we were just throwing stuff at the wall. And, you got to be different to get signed or different to get booked because everybody's seen, blonde hair, blue eyes, or matching tights and all that shit. So we're like, man, what if we put up, a six-man together and see if we can run together? Anybody can work singles, anybody can work tags, kind of change. We get a Jack Black guy, a fairly, you know what I mean? Like, we cover all demographics, too, which is important for a company. So we came up and put our heads together with the BTY, like a fraternity group, because it's kind of how we are in real life. when the four of us get together, we just party. Like, we have a freaking blast. Like, shit, I love those guys, and it's a lot of fun. But unfortunately, the part we didn't think of is it's tough to book 3 guys, let alone 1. You know what I mean? So sometimes a tag will take precedent over that, or a single or whatnot. But we ended up getting so close to become really close, and we're together every weekend in some way, shape, or form, or we're talking, or everyone knows everybody. It's just it's one big happy family. BTY is a special place in my heart. I wish there was more opportunities for 6 men, and I get it. Like, no one knows this too. If you had a 6-man with I don't know, whoever that's indie name, that's huge indie name, you know what I mean? Insert here. He probably gets the 6-man book a little easier than Brian Johnson does. But one day we'll. And whenever any one of us grabs a book, and we try to bring the other 2 along. So it's a good time.
All right. I love those vignettes for BTY and the promos. Those videos are hilarious.
I'm glad you like them. My buddies like them too. We haven't cut some in a while. We'll have to cut loose this weekend maybe and film a few. They were. I had a perm for a while. It was a crazy summer, bro. It was really fun. We were just ripping promos, and I think there was like a span of 7 weekends in a row we were together. It was a lot of fun.
So, talking about promos, you ripped New York in one of yours. You're wearing like a Philly shirt, and
yeah, man, that's real life. That was a shoot.
That's a shoot. New York's like the greatest.
Yeah, man, I'm a diehard Phillies fan. Everything, and it's a shame because I really like the colors orange and purple. Like that's together, I think they look really nice. And I would love a pair of tights with that, but I downright refuse to get them if they're New York colors. So unfortunately, I'll never be donning them as best of my ability. But screw you, New York, man, and Washington, and all those surrounding counties, Philadelphia for life, baby.
We got some fighting words because I'm a Mets fan.
Hey, listen, I'm willing to wager on any game you want. Back to my 76ers, brother, man. Joel Embiid is the truth.
Yeah, raise the cat.
I'm not talking about the Knicks, but the Mets. I think the Mets got the Phillies numbers.
No, the Nets. Come on, man. You guys got 7 wins. Come on.
The Mets? The Mets made it to the wild card.
Oh, the Mets. I'm sorry. I thought you said the Nets. The Mets are really good. The Phillies stink. They're terrible.
Yeah, the Phillies are awful.
Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, but we're coming around. We got some good young pitching, and 2020 is going to be the year for Philadelphia. I was actually thinking that today. Man, we got a lot of good young teams 2020. And I was, man, it's cool. I may rise in 2020. I'm like,
Yeah, man.
I'll just pretend the city's talking about me when they're talking about everybody else.
You got to look out for Matt Harvey and Syndergaard.
Yeah, well, if Matt Harvey can ever stay off the DL, it'd be great, bro.
And DeGrom.
No one cares about that.
You guys are going to miss Portello Colon, right? Didn't he just leave? We're going to do it out that 700-pound, 50-year-old man.
I think he's going to pull like an R.A. Dickey and just tank. So that's just my hope. So once they got rid of R.A., he never got to where he was the year before with the Mets. So
when Phillies Mets play, we'll have to touch base, and I'll come on. We can talk some shop and get you down here in Philly.
We should, put a wager. If the Mets win, you have to wear a Mets jersey, or if Phillies lose, I have to wear Phillies.
Hey, we can get into this. I'm down with this. That's no problem. I'm always down for a wager, pal. So whatever you want to do, I'm into that.
All right, that's awesome.
So, Brian, speaking of Philly, the president was just in Philly, and you're used to be known as the president of wrestling. So I want to know if you guys had any words. You exchanged any words? You square up with them?
You know what? You guys are going to laugh and maybe not even believe me. I don't think there's a human being on planet Earth that is less knowledgeable about politics than myself. And that sounds terrible because of what my cute job is, and I have no problem telling you. I work down at Simpson Market in the federal courthouse. And I was, 4 blocks from when Trump was there. They shut down all the streets by us. It was absolute chaos. I'm diagonal from the Liberty Bell, so that was a real pain in the ass traveling. Luckily, I live close; I can walk. But in regards to the president of pro wrestling, the reason I hate politics, and my brother is a diehard politic guy, and I make fun of them for it all the time. But the reason I hate politics is no one ever wins. They just bitch more. You know what I mean? No matter what, whether you agree or not, it's oh, I'm a Democrat, I hate you Republicans, or vice versa. I don't even know if they sound like that. I know that's probably a terrible interpretation. So I was just man, president of pro wrestling, I'll be the most hated or loved guy in the room at any time, and it works, and blah, 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 blah. And then the next thing I know, the cabinet came up on Ring of Honor. I was lucky to have right place, right time, and got some TV FaceTime with them. But yeah, I made that gimmick solely because I was seen by someone who works at WWE and someone who works at TNA, and they were just like, well, maybe number one doesn't work. And I realized why it didn't work because I wasn't doing it properly. I was more just had a nickname and was wrestling well. I wasn't actually putting a character to my work. And so I was like, oh, let me show them that I listen and apply advice. I came with this gimmick. And after I came with the gimmick, they contacted me back west. So I was like, oh, man, what am I going to do? And I learned some stuff from being around Ring of Honor and was like, I'm revamping number one. It's so much more natural than coming out with these goofy-ass suspenders and whatnot. So for Johnson. Made a few bucks off pins, so that was pretty sweet. But outside of that, that was a failed gimmick that I liked. That's my Chainsaw Charlie era of the Terry Funk career is what I'd like to refer to it as, I guess. No, I shouldn't say that. Ring of Honor, I got to look at my Ring of Honor because of that. So that was, and what got my foot in the door, get some extra work with them, which is cool.
So you talk about, being part of the OTW family. Do you like teaming better or being a solo act where you can kind of stand out for yourself?
Man. Crap, right now I feel like all I do is tag team matches. I enjoy tag team depending who I'm teaming with. I was lucky, I teamed with a guy who no one knows, Craig Nash, years ago, and he was big and cool, and we had a lot of fun together. And if we go back and watch our matches, we kind of stunk, which, is fine. We were both green and not really knowing what we were doing. But I learned a lot just by being in there so much and grabbing tags with them that I think it makes me a pretty good tag wrestler now. Man, that's a good question. I don't know what I prefer. I think it's easier to trigger a response if you're in a tag. There's some tricks you can pull with 2-on-1. That's fun. But a closing sequence with a tag is a lot harder because you're relying on all four people being on the same page. Whereas, if you're just in a singles and a one-on-one type match, you can kind of guide people through things a lot easier. So I don't know. That's a good question. It really depends, man. Can I pick whatever one gets me signed? That'll be my pick. I don't know. You know what I mean? That's how I feel right now. That's my answer.
All right, that's fair.
So you've been a Battle Bowl winner, Soul Survivor winner, Classic champion, Tag champion, Heavyweight champion at OTW. It's kind of earned you the name of Mr. OTW. When I think of
I don't know. I think that's an insult. I'm kidding.
When I hear stuff like that, I kind of think of Tommy Dreamer with ECW. What does that mean to you to kind of have like that? Just basically.
Well, it means everything. It really does. It does. First off, it means I'm a big fish in a very, very small pond, and I need to keep moving and not rest on my laurels. That's number one. I'd be dumb if I said anything different. That's number one. I have did everything I can do. Moron, but it's truthful. I did everything at OTW I can do, but it doesn't mean we'll stop going there. But the Mr. OTW moniker kind of came through a guy. I think he joked about it in the back, and we kind of ran with it. To have the respect of my peers is great, and I think anybody on any level and any professional say that. It's an honor. You know what I mean? Actually, the fact that I have that is something that I'll never let go. I think there's times when I may doubt that they respect me as much as they do, or I may drive them up a goddamn line, or that's sure. But it just means that, hard work pays off. Even, in such a small building like that, all the way to hopefully one day bigger and brighter things that, can get me somewhere. I'll never forget OTW if I ever do move on. And at the time right now, I don't know if I'm going to forget him anytime soon because I'm headed there just about 4 days a week or 3 days a week. It's a great place. And the Tommy Dreamer reference with ECW is a great reference. Tommy became the heart and soul there, and I think For Real became a part of their backstage stuff. So I really, that's a big compliment. If I can ever be Tommy Dreamer in the sense of a big company, that'd be great. It really would.
Nice. How do you guys like manage? Because you guys in OTW put on shows like weekly. How do you guys manage like that schedule? Because most independent companies, they'll put on a show like once a month, maybe once every 2 months. How do you guys deal with the fast paced environment like that?
Well, a lot of hands on deck, which is great. And this is people always tell me that you should talk bigger about your product to get people there. But I also don't want to be a liar. That's how it's brought up. Listen, OTW is a school first atmosphere. We train, and then there's matches on Saturdays. And when you run every single week in the same exact building in the same city at the same time, your crowds are going to be low. And then I mean low. But I was, like I said, learning from Ed, and just kind of when I got to the extra stuff in the background work, I realized that, hey man, yeah, this is training, but you know what? I was able to work on 6 or 7 things that I added to the present persona in front of very limited amount of people. So then when I got a booking like Ring of Honor or Saw by a bigger company, I was able to have it perfected. If you keep that mentality, like, hey, this week I need to work on my drop kicks. Who cares? I'm throwing 10 drop kicks. 9 of them hit and 1 misses. Yeah, it sucks for the live crowd, and you never want to let someone down. But it's a great place to perfect your craft and get working. And the reason it works every week is because I friggin' love pro wrestling. I was with my family. Where are we at? Like 2 weeks ago. And they were saying something to me about a drive I had coming up or something. And I was just like, God, I'm in love with pro wrestling. Like, I'm in love with it. Like, they say these crazy things in your love. Well, I go to a building with no heat or air for the last 10 years and wrestle every single week and drive myself up a goddamn wall, let alone any of the other bookings. So it's kind of just like, it's been so ingrained to me now. It's just like second nature. We take 2 weeks off at around Christmas time, and it feels weird. Like, oh, it's Saturday off. Like, my friends do. Like, hey, it's Saturday off. Yeah, I get here. I don't want to be here as much as I want to be there. But it's a lot of help, and it's just realizing the bigger goals, getting reps and learning and applying things so that when you're on bigger stages, you can really shine.
So you at OTW, you won favorite wrestler, and the Super Friends won Tag Team of the Year. So
yeah, that was cool, man.
I wanted to know, was Adam jealous?
It's funny because BTY ride together, and Adam's gonna laugh at this. Justin got Wrestler of the Year, and Justin got most hated, I think.
Yeah.
I got most loved, and Adam got tag team. So we were all busting his chops, driving up wherever it was. Jasmine had nothing, but we didn't really mention that to her, and we didn't want to make her feel any worse. And then I tried busting Adam's balls, but he just won the the heavyweight championship up at DPW. And Justin's got the heavyweight championship at OTW. And Adam and I got the tags, and Justin and I got the tags. So they turned around to me and was like, yeah, well, you don't go heavyweight title, busting my chops. But it's all fun and games. Like, those awards were picked on Facebook by people. There was people that are getting votes that hadn't wrestled in 6 weeks at OTW. So it was absolutely ridiculous. This is crazy. Hey, I run the Facebook, so I won the award that I've made up. You know what I mean? It was really funny to me to kind of see people. And then there was friends of mine took it serious and were arguing with other friends. And I was like, guys, you don't even come to the shows. You probably can't name 5 of the people on this list, but it was just something I tried because I think I saw another company do it. And I was like, let's see what happens. We'll probably get 4 votes. They flew in. It was really weird. Guys got behind it. So that was nice. I wish that turned into ticket sales, but that's not always the case.
So you I've gone to a couple. I've been going to wrestling shows for a while, and I've never actually seen an indie show put on a TLC match.
Okay.
Can you talk about maybe competing in that kind of an element?
It sucked.
It sucked?
No, it sucked. Well, no, I shouldn't say it sucked. I mean, it's painful. It is, it's definitely a draw. We've had a couple ladder matches at OTW. Every time we do it's filled. There's always a risk factor. and there's always going to be a indie factor to it. So like when WWE does something, it's top notch. Their belts don't fall. You don't worry about the belt falling. Their ladders are proper. Whereas in indie, you're kind of cutting corners to get by and cutting costs to get by. So there's always like almost like an extra added layer of worry. You know what I mean? Of, oh God, is the belt going to fall in the middle of the match, or is this idiot going to remember that or whatnot? Because you don't have refs helping you, and it's not outside either. But I really enjoyed the ones that I was in. The last one I was in was really cool. We had Pat House in there at OTW. Yeah, it's just it's a different animal. You know, you got to go in, and everyone's got to be on the same page. And unfortunately, sometimes you don't have all the accessories you need. Like I said, when you're an indie promotion, I think we only had 2 tables, and the one's legs broke like the day before or something like that. Something crazy happened. I forget what it was. And I was just kind of like, man, this is falling apart before we even get in there. And our building, if you ever, hopefully you guys come out one day, it's tiny. So there's, pipes running, and you don't know what pipe's what. We got a belt hanging next to a pipe, and is that pipe going to blow? You get a little nervous, but, in the long run, everything everything usually pays off, and it's a great time. And, as long as everyone's safe and no one gets hurt, you're usually pretty good at the end. You all smile, you have a beer, and you're all happy.
So I also saw one of your matches where you took on like Damian Gibbs from.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
He's a lot of fun.
And he's been traveling with, he's been with WrestlePro, PWS, and SWF, and you name it.
Yeah, he gets everywhere, man.
Yeah, and he's one of my favorites out there. And he was just on our podcast too. How was it working with him? Did he beat you up too bad, or did you give him a good exchange?
I love Damian. If it's the one match I'm thinking of, he short punches me in the ribs, and I think I'll lose my breath for a second. That dude's in kick-ass shape, man. He loves the gym. He's a workout fiend, and it shows. Look at his body. Like there's no shot there. If it's a tournament match, I really like it. He's smarter than and this would sound rude, he's really good with some psychology things, and smart, and I felt like we had a good vibe. We had a match a couple of years ago in front of like 6 goddamn people, and at that point you're kind of but that last match we had was pretty cool. Damian's a good hand. He's a good little worker. Great character. Very over the top. And he's got the bleach blonde hair. He looks like a pro wrestler. He walks in the room, he stands out. He's a great guy. Really is. And he's turned us on to a lot of great guys that came through at OTW now. Just good and solid workers up there. So. Yeah,
speaking of that, you're talking about Nikos and Delroy, because he's had...
Yeah, Delroy is... So I just wrestled them not too long ago. Delroy, you don't know it, dude. That dude is strong. Like, holy shit, that dude is strong. I had one of my best matches of the year last year with him. I love working that dude. I really, really do. And Nikos is like weirdly creative and thinks outside the box and is a great heel in the sense that he doesn't mind being embarrassed. And a fairly good promo too, with some like unique gear that you don't see all the time, so he stands out. Delroy's my dude though. I would work out if I could work Delroy every day. I'd be happy, man. They also gave us Beefcake Charlie, who is legitimately maybe the funniest human being in professional wrestling. And he's got a good little manager in J Enterprise, super professional and a good promo. Gibbs really hooked us up with a lot of good dudes. Bobby Wayward doesn't get enough credit. He used to be at OTW a little more than he has been recently, but I love that dude too. Bobby's a great guy. Just, good people hang with good people. You know what I mean? That's how I feel in life and in pro wrestling. It's no different. Usually if you find a good worker, he's probably going to associate himself with other good workers, and Gibbs was a great find for us.
So you named a lot of good guys that are out there on the indies, Gibbs, Delroy, Nikos. What do you personally? Because I know everyone's goal is to get to WWE or get to TNA or somewhere contracted professionally.
Yeah.
What do you do personally that sets you apart from everyone else?
Well, that's the $1 million question. I'm still trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
if I knew that answer, maybe I'd be signed. And everyone's going to be like, oh, I work hard, and I want it, and I live, and I eat, and I breathe, and I sleep this shit. Yeah, no, that's why on a wrestling podcast. You know, and I'm sure you guys are laughing pretty hard because I got a guy that said, oh, this is my life, it's my dream. Yeah, no shit. Thanks. You know, we're all going to say that. They don't care about that. You know, I think I watch a lot of tape. I'll be honest, I probably don't watch enough international tape right now. And for that being such a hotbed in wrestling, you know, the UK tournament for WWE or Japan and Mexico just signing deals at Ring of Honor, I probably should watch more of that. But I watch, and I'm kind of like a savant with WWF and WCW, specifically WWF, like to a dorky amount of what I could name you and rattle off if you started asking questions. I think tape studies are a huge deal with pro wrestling, but not just like tape studies like, oh man, I really like that move Hakushi did it in your house. Yeah, okay, anybody can do moves. It's the meaning behind the moves or why the moves, and I feel like I have a grasp on that. However, everything I say is bullshit because I'm not signed. So what do I have to stand? No, well, clearly not enough. It's just a constant grind, and so many guys get, or I've seen or heard, get so fed up with, oh, this guy got this other thing. I'm like, yeah, for sure. Like, am I rooting for everybody that's never made it? No, probably not. I'd be lying to you if I told you it was. But at the same time, there's a reason why they're there. And I got to find a reason to get myself there. How, what, when, why? It's a work in progress. Hopefully, maybe this podcast gets me a few more followers and I become an instant, you know, an instant success. But sometimes perception is reality. It's a grind. You know, it's a dream. I don't know. I don't know what separates me. I'm another guy from the big city trying to make it big. I'm just going to keep working until it pays off. But what separates me directly? Shit, great question. I'm stupid enough to not quit, maybe. That's the answer. The guys that quit, I'm smarter than everybody else. Maybe that's it. I'm dumb enough to stay around long enough that, you know, I might just get a break when I'm 40, I guess. No, something will break. I really believe in that. I think hard work pays off and all that stuff that I'm joking about. It's true, though. You know, you gotta be all in, and I'm all in, and just open, you know, scratching and crawling. And I did some camps recently at places and just learning and trying to apply. And you know, it's a big thing that people don't realize: making connections, dude. Like being a brother. Good brother is, as the Bullet Club, I think originally said, or the club, whatever they are now, WWE. You know, being a brother. I think people like me. I don't know. I hope so. I'm saying that maybe a little too confidently, but you got to know that. You know, as much as what you do between the ropes matters, if you're a pain in the ass, they don't want you on the road. You know what I mean? Like, would you guys want on your podcast some dude that was a complete pain in the ass every day?
No.
You know what I mean? And I don't think enough people play that game or credit that game enough. Like, oh, I'm so good. I'm just going to be in the gym all day and not talk to me. Well, good. Then they're not going to help. You know, it's probably just as much talent as it is having someone reach their hand out to pull you up. And I learned that from a couple people that are way smarter than me and done more than me and have said that to me. So, have I always been that way? No. When I was a fat kid, dude, I was a punk. I thought my shit didn't stink, and it probably stunk worse than it ever could have. And I'm sure I probably pissed off some people, and if they're listening, I apologize, man. I wish I knew that part of the play the game part sooner. I have a temper, I do, for sure, and I'm sure I showed it back then way more than I do now, and I think that can hurt for sure on people. You know, you don't want a reputation of having a bad temper, but that's part that I think, I'm definitely coming around and seeing how important that is, and when you get that and the talent, and I'd like to think that I have some of the talent, maybe not all the talent, but when you get that and the talent, you can hopefully make things happen.
When you look at the roster at OTW, are there certain names that jump out to you that are people that you think are gonna, make it to the bigger stages and stuff like that?
Everybody can, because on TV right now there's Braun Strowman and there's James Ellsworth.
Yeah, it's true.
And that's not a knock on either guy. That I hope no one took it that way, but everybody can, and I hope all my guys and girls believe that. There's certainly guys that have gotten looked at in one way or another, Nick Drake, Adam Chandler, who are very talented.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Putzer, I think, the goddamn man. Steve Sanders, that kid that I mentioned, McBreen, he's injured. He got banged up with the neck, and who knows what could happen. But that kid can work. I'm telling you, he was friggin' the best 18. Like, if I was as good as him at 18, holy shit. And I wasn't anywhere close. But, like, there's just, and I don't want to just sit here and name everybody, because then I'm just going to name the whole roster. Everybody and anybody can make it in pro wrestling. Again, look at TV. Like, Braun Strowman's on TV, and so is James Ellsworth. And I think sometimes for the same amount of time. So just remember that. And, like, then in any shape, too, like, Kevin Owens isn't in the best shape. He's a great worker. And so is Roman Reigns. Like, whomever. Like, they take all shape. It's a circus, bro. So anybody can make it. They all can. I don't want to pick just one or two names, although I guess I kind of did. But, yeah, man. Anybody can make it. Anywhere in the world.
Question. I'm not sure which promotion it was in, but you came out to the song "One's the Loneliest Number." I want to know whose idea was that?
Mine. I thought it up. I don't like to give away all my secrets, but I'll give one good one away. Shit. I was taught at a very starting age when I started to go out that if you're a heel, you shouldn't have cool music. Because unless I'm well known, which I'm not, they might cheer you when they hear cool music. So if you have corny, dorky music and you walk out with the typical indie shit, it's easy to get booed. So I was like, number one Brian Johnson, and all that. And my friends were like, oh, dude, you saw number one by Nelly. It's like a good beat. Who the hell? What? No, I don't want people to cheer me. I was the heel in that song. And I was like, one's the loneliest number. And then, you know, it's so dorky, you know what I mean? Like Three Dog Night and Crush. Yeah, let's go with that. And it worked, bro. And then I got lucky enough that, like, some boss beat rock band did a cover of it, so I used it for a Babyface song, too, but it's got, like, a different beat and kind of sounds cool. I just presume people aren't paying attention to the lyrics at that point. But, yeah, it's a pretty sweet, it's a sweet song to get heat easy, bro.
Yeah, I thought that was awesome. I thought that was a good choice.
Thank you very much. I'll tell my friends how dumb they are.
So how much do you put into, like, you know, like branding yourself? Because, I mean, just like hearing this, you know, the concept, like the one Brian Johnson, like, I don't know, I got like a million ideas of like creating your like WWE 2K and like doing all this great stuff. So, like, how much do you put into, like, you know, branding yourself?
Probably not enough. If I was going to be honest, probably don't do enough. So any of those ideas, you got to shoot them over, Bill. Please. That's probably a part I lack at. I'm not super creative. I don't want to say I lack creativity. I think when I get rolling, I do really well. And when I see things, I can do them, or in a sense, if I picture them in my mind. But sometimes just getting that ball moving at first, sometimes a little tough. That's something that I learned this past weekend. I was at a camp, and not a camp, but, you know, a seminar, tryout, and just that's something I can definitely improve on. Whether or not making a brand or just being able to establish I'm number one without saying it, you know what I mean? Yeah. Good wrestlers, you know, if you turn the volume off on your TV, you know The Undertaker. That dude's a badass, you know what I mean? That ability to have that, or Stone Cold, you knew what his gimmick was when he walked on the screen, whether you had music on or not, is such a hard ability to have. But when you get it, oh man, and that's where I'm at right now. Where I feel, you know, I'm a little stuck at that I need to work on for sure. Do I believe I'm number one? Yeah, you're damn right I do. Am I uber confident, all that you would allude from being number one? Yeah, for sure. Now I just gotta have other people see that without me. Hey, I'm number one. You know what I mean? Like, that's so cheesy in the, you know, back of the woods, backyard, but not backyard, but crappy, you know, not TV wrestling. You know what I mean?
So when you've been at the Sanctuary, you know, can you tell us about that experience?
You know, I didn't do a lot of too much work. I were there 2 or 3 times, maybe 4. Guy that runs shows, very professional. Always up front and honest with us. It's a good spot. You know what I mean? I don't really have a lot to say about it because, like I said, we were there 4 times. It was spread out almost all 4. You know, they were never like, I don't think it was ever like a month straight.
Yeah.
But it's a good spot to work. You know, try to grab some work. I just recently got work with PPW. And was happy there, and just, you know, trying to get work anywhere. There's a lot of good promotions out there, and good for lots of different, you know, like, I hate to drive to Hazleton, Pennsylvania for Sanctuary when I used to do it. It was the absolute worst. I had to leave work on a Friday afternoon in the middle of rush hour. It was the drizzle on shit, but you got some cool pictures, and the lighting was neat, so that all came out cool, which was nice. But, you know, in the sense of like what I can tell you much about the company, I don't know. There's a lot of guys that have put in a lot more time there, and I'd be wrong if I tried to say one way or another about it.
Because we had Mike Orlando on, and he liked that he could go back and watch his matches and look at what they're doing. Did you kind of feel that experience too a little bit, or?
Well, yeah, but I mean, I bought a handheld camcorder when I was like,
okay,
4 or 5 years in, so I tape all my matches as it is. Now there, I don't because I can just go to their YouTube, but I mean, I tape every single one of my matches as it is. OTW tapes all of your matches. You want to know how I know? Because I tape all the matches and upload them. So anybody that works at OTW gets all their matches also. And there's other places, and like other places I work, it's just, you ask the promoter. Personally, hey, if there's a promoter listening to this, if you're taping people's stuff and not letting them have it, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, why do you get to keep my match? And I understand like DVD sales or like maybe for a program. Give me a private link and tell me never to share it. The moment I share it, that's me, I don't get another one. I completely understand. But guys, how can we get better if we can't watch the matches? And these promoters that are just like hoarding these films. Like, what are you doing with my 20-minute match against Joe Blow from, what's going on with that? I haven't seen it. You're not doing anything with it. Oh, what, you're taking a 10-second clip, you weirdo? Let me see my match. I don't get that at all, or why they hold on to it. The DVD sales and, if you share everything, why they come to the building, I understand that part. But if I promise you I'm not going to share it, I won't share it. I just want to watch my damn match. Because you clearly aren't. No promoter does. They're all lying. Like, come to that, that was really good, son. I really liked it. Like, you'll find like 3 promoters out of every like 100 that actually watch your shit. Or, I didn't get to see it. I'll watch that. No, you're not. You're not going to be sitting at your house on Tuesday with your kids and, you know what? Gotta watch Brian Johnson's match today because he asked me about it. Like, no, send me my goddamn match. It bothers me, obviously. So, get your match is a good thing, but I see that a lot of places I'm usually able to get my own too, so I guess it's not something that comes to my mind right away. That's actually right.
So, Brian, where can people find you on social media and upcoming events?
Well, Friday night, March 2nd. Yeah, March 3rd. Sorry, I apologize. My days are off. March 3rd, I'll be up at D2W in Wharton, New Jersey. To me, they're a great spot. Friday nights, hey, there's a bar there too if you like drinking. They have a good atmosphere, mixed crowd, whether kids or older crowd. Great time. I'll still be your reigning and defending D2W Tag Team Champions for like damn near 450 days up there at One Mean Team. So me, Miss Jazz, and Justin will be kicking heads in. The next day, I won't be at OTW, but OTW will have a show. But March 11th at 7 p.m. I know that's about 10 days away from when this is airing. Big tag team title match for me and my buddy Adam Chandler. This should be a really kick-ass main event with Beefcake Charlie and Justin Buster. OTW is the best kept secret in professional wrestling. Maybe not best kept because that would mean that it's purposely done that way, but it's the most unknown professional wrestling corporation that deserves some insight. So go check that out either Saturday, March 11th, or if you hit up the D2W in Wharton, New Jersey, for sure check that place out. I love those guys. Great roster. Come see what we got going on, man.
And where can people find you on social media?
I am at #1. Oh man, what is my Twitter handle off the top of my head? I actually forgot it. So I'm on Facebook at #1 Brian Johnson. The word numbers start out and the number 1 is used. My Twitter handle, I think, is the same exact thing. Crap, I forget my Twitter handle. #1 Bijo, maybe? Oh man, that's terrible. I think it's number and then the #1 and then Bijo might actually be it. Wow, that is embarrassing. I also have my own website. I update it with dates that I'll be at, which is brian-down.net. #1 Bijo. See what I mean about not branding myself enough, guys?
And the website.
I just proved my own point. Brian-Johnson.net. My YouTube channel has all my matches. YouTube.com/#1 Brian Johnson. Make sure you type in #1, not just Brian Johnson, because the lead singer from AC/DC will pop up and won't find out anything about me, because unfortunately he's still a lot more famous than I am at this point. So, but yeah, I'd love for people to check it out. Give me a like, a share, a retweet. Anything they can do to help me out would be okay with me, man.
Where can people find OTW?
OldTimeWrestling.net. It's a website, obviously. That's the website. They got a Facebook, OTW Pro Wrestling Club. They have promos up there, and they really just use it as a promotional tool to get people to match. We're in Williamstown, New Jersey, right off 322 in the Monroe Business Center. We train there, so anybody looking to train and listen to this, check the website out. Or shoot me a message on social media, and I'll be glad to get you set up in the right direction. But it's a kick-ass place, man. There's not enough eyes on it.
Well, we definitely appreciate, spending time with us, answering all the questions, giving us some good stories, and, great background on you. We definitely wish you all the best in the future, and we wish, we hope great things come your way.
Yeah, of course.
Hey, you know what we got to do sometime, guys? We should try to get BTY up in studio if that's possible, and kick back some beers and BS, and cut some promos and have some fun up there. If I can get the 4 of us to agree today and come up, that could be really cool, man. And show you guys how to party.
That'd be awesome. Yeah,
we definitely do that.
Yeah, more than welcome.
Hey, you know what? We'll make it this way. We'll wait till this first Phillies-Mets series. If the Mets win, I'll show up in a Mets shirt for you. If not, you got to wear a Phillies one, and we'll shit and we'll shoot shit and talk wrestling and have a good time with the 4 of us.
Oh yeah, no doubt for that.
Well, me and Pat are Yankee fans, so we're better than both of you guys.
Whatever, any New York team will. I don't know if Phillies and Yankees play this year, and if they do, the Yankees probably beat us by a lot. So I'll take my chances on the Mets winning the divisional rivalry. But if we can figure out something like that, we come up and have some fun. Justin's a Yankee fan too, man. I don't know if I want to come now.
We'll get Ryan Howard.
Hey, you guys can have Ryan Howard now at this point.
Oh man, that's funny.
All right, awesome, man. Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun, and I really appreciate you guys. Everybody that's listening, if you don't know already, this is One Badass Podcast with some smart guys. So make sure you check it out.
Thank you.
We appreciate that.
And of course, you can.
Yeah, no
always,
problem, man.
and you can always like and subscribe here, and follow us on Wrestling IQ 101 on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Even check out the website, WrestlingIQ101.com.
And we are out.